Husky Huddle, we gather round. Coach Human and Steve Cully were never found. They talk about the team with such zeal, strategies and plays. They analyze it well. The stadium's full of cheers and shouts. UConn's got spirit, we'll never doubt. Coaches share their thoughts, it's quite the treat. In this lively huddle we always meet. Huskies, we stand tall. With Coach Schumann and Steve Cully we call. Game plans and strategies, we break it down. In the Husky Huddle, our passion won. From defensive line.
All right.
That was the LP version.
That was the LP. The LP version goes on forever and ever. ever and ever. I mean, it's
LP version. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, you have a little echo there. I don't know if that's
yes, I put it on the YouTube on my other computer. So
you do. Oh, you put it on your other computers.
I try to see if I can see the comments from the naysayers and the nabobs.
Yeah, no doubt. So you know, with the transfer portal like ending, to me, like one of the things that's like so crazy about it, and I think we did pretty well. Like we got the Tennessee quarterback that's coming into us, and I'm curious if you looked up anything about that. But I think
I did. He can play. Seems like the kid can play.
Yeah. Well, what? So we brought in a quarterback from Toledo as well, also, right? So
yes, the kid who played the bowl game for Toledo.
Okay, so that ends up giving us two excellent quarterbacks to fill the spots that we kind of lost. And where does that put Tucker McDonald, who's coming back as well, right? So that he decided to come back.
And Farrar, right? Isn't Kassan Farrar coming back too?
Kassan Farrar coming back. So you're going to have a four-way competition on it.
Well, I think what it shows us, is that with Coach Castle, there's going to be crazy competition. I mean, the Tennessee kid's not coming here to sit on the bench. Neither is the Toledo kid, even though he was the backup for most of the year. He played the bowl game because the starter was hurt. But I like it. You know what? I mean, guys are gonna leave. Maybe McDonald tries to leave now because he reads the handwriting on the wall. But yeah, it's I like. I mean, they brought in. I saw somewhere where it said over 40 transfers they've brought in. I mean, that's what the big boys do. They bring in unlimited players, and looks like they got a good linebacker from Penn. This John Lista kid supposedly can play according to the Sports Illustrated page. You got a couple of D tackles, and you've got a kid from USC to play in the secondary. This Steve Miller.
Oh, they got Emmanuel Ross to come there too. He's from down where I am.
Oh, okay.
Ross. So they got like the quarterback. Obviously, that's probably the biggest prospect we've ever had.
Yep.
4-star. And Emmanuel Ross, I don't know what he was rated at a high school. I just know that he went to Red Bank Catholic, which obviously UConn's had success with Donald Brown and
right.
And even going back to when I played, we had Red Bank Catholic guys. But Emmanuel Ross is big and fast. He's both. And
what does he play? I'm not familiar with him. What does he play?
Wide receiver.
Okay.
Wide receiver. So he's probably, I would say 6'1", 6'2". I don't know I hadn't looked at what he weighs now, but I remember in high school he had to be about $185, $190, and was a flat out bullet, and he was just, I mean, dynamic.
He's the kid from Syracuse, right?
Yes. So that must have been Campanelle coming from Syracuse to UConn, which I thought would be a big see. So Campanelle brings not just, obviously he's coaching, but he brings that Jersey background, which you talked about before, having the ability to bring in some recruits from there. and you only need a few of those guys. But yeah, that's a pretty big get. Obviously, the Toledo kids he brought in are going to be kind of his linchpin kids, kids that know what he does. Tight end for Boston College. What else they got that are so?
They list the Ross kid as 6'2", 202.
Yeah.
That's good size for a wideout.
He's a stud. I mean, that's a stretch the field kid and a kid that is physical. So
and he's another 4-star guy.
Oh, he was a 4-star. Oh, yeah. I mean, I watched him play. He single-handedly in the short conference, it would take over the game. I mean, they won the state championship when he was there, and literally would take over the game. I mean, he was so fast, so athletic. In high school would take a bubble screen to the house.
Would you rate him as equal, below, or above Skylar Bell?
Size-wise and athletically, he's bigger, and I don't know what Skylar Bell's 40 is, but if they say he's like 4'4" guy, this kid's definitely a 4'4" guy. Definitely. So he's bigger. He's probably minimum as fast, if not faster. And I think the fact that he's big, meaning being 6'2", he's not just going to be able to stretch the field with his legs, but he's going to be able to be physical receiver and go and get the ball. I've seen him, even when he was in high school, like at 7-on-7 tournaments, just jump over guys left and right. It was, and that was 7-on-7, but then it translated on the field where he was a physical player. They didn't even play him a ton on defense because they didn't need to, but if he played in defense, he would have been the best defensive player in high school as well. He was that kind of a special athlete, and again, he's a game changer for them. Those two recruits, Merklinger, if Merklinger ends up being as good as they hope he will be, and Emmanuel Ross, I mean, that's a connection that you have that would be possibly better than we had last year. They're definitely bigger time recruits, obviously, but have to obviously do more of it, on the actual field. But as far as from upside potential, there's definitely an upgrade. I wonder, did we have to open up the pockets at all to bring those two guys up in a different level? Because those are 4-star recruits in the transfer portal are, even though they're both those guys, it wasn't like they were the superstars, but to get them to come here, you really probably had to pay them pretty well. Steve?
Yes.
Are you alive? Any thoughts?
I am. Yeah, I know that we increased our spending to about $3 million for this year. So we're spending more than we did last year, which was around $800,000. They're eventually going to get to $6 million in the next 2 years. So I definitely think that they spent money, especially on the linemen they got. They got the lineman from was it Wake Forest? The kid from the Hunt School. I know that they paid for him. And the wide receiver from Toledo, the one who was 6'4". So they've been very active.
You don't think they spent on the quarterback?
Yeah, no, for sure they did. They've been spending a lot. They like I said, they've increased, and with the loss of Kassan Farrar, they really didn't have anyone. So
he's definitely gone.
Yeah, from what I was told, yes, he's definitely gone. But again, it's sources, I don't have anything official. I was told that he is at Colorado State. So that.
What about McDonald?
They got Tucker back. Yes, they got Tucker back. But
This tight end is a 4-star also, Joe, from Boston College.
Yeah, he was big. The one that they got from
6'5",
BC.
250.
That's a nice size.
Yeah. It's I mean, listen, the guy deserves a ton of credit. The Indiana head coach. I feel like Candle's trying to follow a similar model. Get some of these guys that he knows are his guys, Toledo guys, right? That have played for him, know the system. Get as many of those that he thinks can contribute at UConn, which he did, and then get some splash guys. So my concern early was that we weren't getting any splashes, right? But these are some splash guys. The tight end's a splash guy. Emmanuel Ross is a splash guy. Merklinger is a splash guy. That's 3, and I'm trying to go through each one of these to to see what their actual level is. But those are 3 splash recruits that can make a big impact right away. I think running back is the one position where I think we're yet to get exactly, a splash there. I mean, Cam Edwards is definitely going to be hard to, I think for, running backs, might be more of a dime a dozen at the highest levels. But at our level, I do think it's hard to get a Cam Edwards, especially as we're trying to upgrade. So to get another guy like that could take some time. We got a couple of running backs, but it's hard to they didn't put up numbers that were that phenomenal. Cam Edwards is a special. I mean, obviously he's going to Michigan State and probably getting paid very well to do that. So they obviously viewed him as a special back as well. So it's what he was able to do. I'm curious. I'm curious on the whole portal thing, which is so interesting to me. It looks like it's pretty much.
It's a disaster.
It's been a benefit for us. Okay, I mean Jim Mora, I thought did a very good job in it. That was a big basis of his recruiting. Candle seems to have done a very good job so far in it. It's a disaster it hasn't been a disaster for us. It's been a disaster.
No, I mean overall it's been a disaster
for teams who don't have
kids,
don't know who they are and where they're at. So I'm going to use Boise State as an example. Boise State wants to compete with the big dogs. That's always they're complaining they're getting guys, they're losing guys left and right, but they can't pay for the big dogs. You know what I mean? So they keep getting they pay for they offer a certain amount of dollars for a guy. He gets taken by somebody else because they're going after someone who wasn't going to go to them anyway, was going to go to the highest bidder. So that's kind of an example of not knowing exactly who you are. I think that so far we've done a good job of that and paying in spots for the right place. Merklinger, if he pans out, unlike what I didn't feel Evers ever was really the right person because, UConn has not had this history with dual threat quarterbacks. And I think part of it is the weather, or part of it is, what has UConn had success with in its history of quarterbacks? Kind of big, strong passing quarterbacks who not that they can't run here or there, but are able to handle the football in the cold weather and in overtime. And I think that all the quarterbacks from Orlovsky, I won't say his name now, but since guys are mad at him, but Fignano, obviously.
I'm not mad. Let him go.
Yeah, Fignano.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, you wish him the best. Look, listen. People can say whatever they want about Fignano. He led us to 2 9-win seasons.
Yep, exactly.
What other guys have done that?
Exactly.
To hate him for no reason Just doesn't make sense, right?
Because he's the only quarterback to ever do that.
He's the only quarterback to do it. And you know what? Like, if you look at it from their side is that. Their side is, hey, like, you know, I did it. I had to figure out something if I want to be a pro. That's how it is. But I think that those quarters, you know, to DeGennaro, to Corny Benton, to Shane.
The last dual threat quarterback might have been DJ Hernandez.
DJ Hernandez, who at some
what about Pindell?
He wasn't like a
Pindell.
Pindell was.
The team wasn't good. Pindell was great.
Right.
Pindell was great, but the team was off. I don't know that you can, like, because it's about also what recruits will come there, right? You know, like, I feel like, you know, they're still like, hey, man, the running back wants to run the ball, you know, in the Northeast, you know, like, the receiver wants to get the passes thrown. If the quarterback's taking off down the field all over the place and controlling the bulk of everything all the time, it's harder to get a great running back, right? Now in the South, it's different because that's what a lot of these kids have grown up with. So it's not, you know, it's not as big a thing. But even still, look at Indiana. What are they winning with? You know, there was a huge resurgence. Cam Newton and all those guys, like the dual threat. There was this big thing with it. But now there's also a resurgence to quarterbacks. Yes, they can run when they need to. Okay, you know, but to be able to throw the ball and to be able to control the offense, becoming more and more of a thing. Like, I don't know. But that's UConn. To me, what was great was these playoff games this past weekend. I was 0 for 4, Joe.
Yes, I know that. I was going to wait till Wednesday to bring that up.
I said it to my son. I said, are the Bears going to make me go 0 for 4? He said, did you put money? I said, no, just from our podcast. I said, I can't believe I'm going to go 0 for 4 here. I can't believe it.
Only one of us had a winning record, and that's the person wearing the Rangers hat.
Who did you have again?
I had everybody but the Patriots. I had the Bears. I had Seattle. All you slappies took the 49ers, ignoring the injuries. I took Denver. You all took Buffalo.
Yep.
Steve and Maria took the Rams. You and I took Chicago. So Chicago won. Chicago was 3.5. So you got to win with Chicago.
Oh, I got 1. You're right.
Yeah, you were one of you three combined got as many wins as I did. So
yeah,
congratulations, nice job,
dude. Dude, I couldn't. Well, you know what? You know what I thought about with Houston. As soon as I picked it, I thought, you know what? They got to go up, even though they got to go up and play.
Did you guys get the breaking news?
What?
The Bills fired McDermott.
Oh yeah, that was this morning.
Yeah, that was 9:00 while I was watching.
The Bears didn't win. The Rams won.
No, he said the betting line.
Oh, the line. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Line was 3.5.
Oh, I got you. Going by the line.
You know, McDermott. Did you see McDermott's comments after the game?
Yeah, he was right.
He kind of knew something was up when he said, "I'm doing this for Buffalo," and yada yada yada. He had an inkling that he might be skating on thin ice.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I thought it was so sad watching Allen. I felt bad for him and Deion Dawkins in the locker room. Look, here's the thing that I got most out of the weekend: $1 billion industry uses guys who are officials 3 days a week. I don't know how you solve that, but that's the big, because what wasn't a catch in the Bills game was a catch in the Bears game. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense.
I heard the argument. I would say that I think that both those calls were right. Under the rule, which I don't like this rule, but that not T.O. Who was the Detroit Lions?
Calvin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson.
That continuation, the continuation to the ground, catch thing, which I don't really like that. But that continuation to the ground rule, under the continuation to the ground rule, because he's not able to make a football move as he's coming to the ground. Well, that's the point, though. That's why it became a turnover, because as he's going to the ground, he's not able to make a football move, which would have cleared him. So he comes to the ground, which means that he has to maintain the catch all the way through the ground. So as he's already knee down and on the ground, which under the old rules would have been down, right? Or Ty would have went to the receiver, right?
Yep.
Under that Calvin Johnson stupid rule, because it's not all the way to the ground, as they roll over, and now the defender clearly has a leverage opportunity, because when you roll over somebody, it's like wrestling. Now the ball comes towards him on the roll, and all he's got to do is continue to pull, and it comes right into his hands. And that's why that rule is stupid, because it's not like he did anything to get it out. They both were fighting, but once one guy's on his back now, when he was on top, now he's on his back, and the other guy's on top rolling through. It's just momentum that pulls the ball into his hands. It really wasn't a play. But under the rule, that ball should go to him and cost him the game. And under the other one, where the guy caught it, he was standing, takes a step and makes a football move, now gets the ball pulled out as he went to the ground, that's a football move. Those rules, like, that's got to be a better rule to me, because it literally is going to cost more games. Because if I was a defensive player, any of those contested catches to the ground, don't challenge it.
Yeah, just start ripping.
Just rip as you come down. Don't challenge the ball. Rip as you come down. Momentum will put it in your favor as a defensive player, because as you come down, you're getting the force coming to the ground, and now you're landing on the guy who loses all of the force he had. Now the defensive player now has all the force and just rolls. It's just a wrestling move. That's all you're doing at that point. And but that's what the rule, and that's what makes that. I didn't like the first interference either, to be honest.
No, the second one was definitely interference, but I agree. I think the first one was kind of a crappy call. But give the Broncos credit. Now they got a guy at quarterback who hasn't played in 3 years. So good luck with that against of course this is just continuing the pattern for the Patriots this year, who have played nobody. And remember, they lost opening week to the Raiders. Right? They got beat at home by the Raiders on the opening week of the season. But you look at who else they beat. They beat the Dolphins. They lost to the Steelers. They beat the Panthers. They beat the Saints. They beat the Titans. They beat the Browns. They beat the Falcons. The Buccaneers are a good team. They beat the Jets twice. The Bengals stunk. The Giants were brutal. And then in the playoffs, they played they beat the Ravens, who were good. But then in the playoffs, they played a Chargers team that wasn't ready to play, and a Texans team whose quarterback had to empty his diaper at halftime.
Yeah, he could not handle the weather. I mean, the way that they were loose with the ball was awful.
And I agreed with all the people who said he was so bad in the first half. Maybe you go to the back. Davis Mills, who won 3 games for him in the regular season when C.J. Stroud. Oh, I don't think he ever thought about it. I don't think he thought about it at all. Because if he thought about it, if DeMarco Ryan had thought about it, he would have made the move.
Yeah, I thought he should have.
Yeah. I mean, what do you got?
Stroud was atrocious.
Your quarterback's playing a historically bad game. But, give the Patriots credit. I mean, May hasn't had a great playoff either. May's turned the ball over like 5 times. So you do that against Denver, even with Jarrett Stidham at quarterback. And here's the thing, Sean Payton will have him ready to go. You can be sure of that. They might lose, but it won't be for a lack of preparation.
No, he'll have a good game plan for
the Super Bowl because of circumstances and stuff. Really, without really it's like, are they that good? I think the two team, the Rams and the Seahawks are far better teams.
Yes.
I thought the Bears. Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams did not have a great game overall, but I just, to me, his resilience throughout the game, like that, I didn't like the play call by
Johnson.
Yes, the Canadians' greatest sprinter, Ben Johnson. I didn't like the call. He ran this, like a lot of people run it, where they sit the guy down, they clear everybody out. If the clear out guys aren't open, they throw it to the guy who sits down.
The last interception.
Yes,
DJ Moore getting a lot of crap for not playing that hard.
What's that?
DJ Moore's been getting a lot of crap since that ended.
The DJ Moore, I don't know what he's doing on that play.
He's not running full speed, I can tell you that.
The pass was actually I watched it a few times. It was actually in the right place.
Right.
He stopped running.
Right.
He looks like you see his speed trajectory, and it's like, okay, that's where you would throw it. And then all of a sudden, he's not even looking to the ball.
He didn't think he was the primary receiver and slowed down. He thought he was out.
He can't slow down. It's
I would cut him
and look, even though the Bears lost, you got to admit that Williams' pass with 13 seconds to go was one of the greatest plays
ever.
in NFL playoff history.
Unbelievable.
Ever.
Unbelievable.
And the guy, they want to say that Kmet pushed off. No, they were battling in there. If they had called pass interference on that call, those officials never would have gotten out of Soldier Field alive.
No, they were hand fighting. I mean, you got to let guys play in the playoffs to a certain extent.
Just kept going to Kmet. He's got no sleeves on, okay, and he was catching the ball, gaining yards. Should have went to him again on instead of going down the field. They didn't have to go very far to kick a field goal. And I didn't understand the objective. All those routes were longer routes.
Yeah, and I totally agree with him not going for two there because their goal line offense was trash. If he had gone for two and hadn't gotten it, then people would have been ripping him a new one. I totally think get it to overtime. The crowd's in your favor. Just win it in overtime. And again, as you guys said, they were moving the ball. It wasn't a great pass, and it was a bad job by DJ Moore, who's getting a lot of money to play hard on every play, on every single play. And look, Matthew Stafford for 3/4 of that game was in a snooze.
Yeah, he didn't wake up for an hour.
And I'll give you an early pick. I don't see them going into Seattle and winning. I'll tell you that right now. I don't see the Rams going into Seattle. When Seattle's got that home field advantage, that's hard to beat. It's going to be a 6:30 game, so that means they've got a lot of time to get liquored up at that place. It's not going to be easy. But we had two great games this weekend and two games that totally sucked. I felt bad for the 49ers. They just kept losing guys. And once the guy ran the kickoff back 197 yards on the opening touchdown, you knew the 49ers were screwed. So before we talk about tonight's game, because I know we want to do that, so who gets the Bills job? Mike McCarthy? Tomlin's already said he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to coach next year. Stefanski signed with the Falcons. Obviously, Harbaugh's the new king of New York. Who gets do the Bills stay in house and give it to the OC?
I think Dayball
have a chance? He and Allen had a pretty good relationship when he was the OC there. There's 8 openings. There's 8 head coaching openings. 8. A third of the league. There had been 10, and 2 have been filled. The Gigante and the Flightless Birds in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Joe Brady would be in consideration for it.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But the thing is, if you're the Pagula family up in Buffalo and the GM, the window's still open for Josh Allen, but you'd also think if they didn't have the Chiefs to get through this year, if they don't get through this year, when are they going to do it?
That's what I said too. This was their chance because the Chiefs were out of it. So that's what's disappointing for them. And they had it won. They threw the wide receiver screen, which was a perfect call. Would have been a touchdown if Allen didn't throw it low. That would have won him the game. And then the field goal at the end of the half on that turnover, they should have just taken a knee. They shouldn't have even attempted a pass. I thought that was crazy. And that's what lost them the game.
The Bills
and they had everyone out.
Stink. The Bills receivers for a pro team with a quarterback like they have are below average. Shakir is the best one, and he's small.
Coleman.
Cooks is worn out. Coleman's okay.
Cooks is old.
Cooks is old. Cooks was good for a brief time period, but like he can't. These guys can't catch the ball. It's amazing to me.
The tight ends they rely on. They have
tight ends are very good. Tight ends are very good, but I don't know why these guys are. I'll tell you this: that was one of the things that Kansas City used to do so good. Like he was not afraid to just keep throwing it to the tight ends. These OCs get enamored with going to the receivers late in the game instead of just taking what in the cold weather. The tight ends are incredibly valuable with their option routes. The fact that they're a physical matchup problem for the defenses. And when you throw to a guy with a big body, it's a bigger radius to miss because as a quarterback, it is cold. It is harder to be quite as accurate all the time. And they shield people off so they don't have to always catch it with their hands perfectly because they're big bodies. These little receivers in the cold, it does not make sense to me to keep going to them over and over again when you're trying to go down the field. They're smaller radius. It's harder to hit them. These guys are not this is not Wes Walker and Edelman. These are not those kind of players.
Right.
Kansas City would use those fast receivers in space and get them in shorter spaces and get them moving unless they had a long home run ball and then hit the tight end and get him down the field and get those first downs so you can get into field goal range to win those games. And I think that's a mistake that these OCs are making. I don't understand. I'm watching the game like, why is Josh Allen firing it down the field to a guy who's clearly the defensive backs are going to hold them? I mean, it's worth the risk to grab these guys. It's worth the risk. It's worth the risk to grab them. A tight end, you can't grab them. You can't grab them. There's nothing you could do when you're 5'10", 200 pounds against a 6'5", 250-pound guy in the freezing cold that these guys don't want to be on as defensive backs because they're prima donnas. So they don't want to be against a big guy pushing them around all over the place. I don't understand why they don't do it. I don't know if Joe has any thoughts on that, but it's one of the things that drives me crazy.
Yeah, I totally agree with it, with everything you said. I mean, the Bills wide receiver room, once they lost Stephon Diggs, has been nothing. By the way, it's nice to see the two Patriots felons had a good game yesterday, Diggs and Christian Barmore. Nice to see them. Nice to see them contributing to society. Yeah, I don't understand. When you've got Dawson Knox and Dawson Kincaid, and you've got the receivers that you have, just throw the tight ends the ball and let them run over people. I mean, use the wide receivers sparingly. I thought they could have thrown the ball more to the running backs out of the backfield too. Maybe some screens. Maybe if you're going to throw to a wide receiver, throw a wide receiver screen and get the horses out in front of them. I didn't think it was I didn't think their game plan was sensational going in. But you know what? The NFL, guys, is a league of is a copycat league. Teams see one team doing something. If they're successful, they do the same thing as well. So somebody's had success throwing the ball to the wideouts like that. You look at the Seahawks. I mean,
Yeah,
um,
Stafford has success.
Stafford has success because he's got Puka Nacua and
Right.
Devontae Adams. He's got two of the five best wide receivers in the league, probably.
Right.
So I mean and he's got a good running game in Kyron Williams and Corum. So and he's got tight end. They've got two or three tight ends who can catch the football. So it'll be interesting. So we've got a little UConn connection in the national championship tonight. Obviously for Miami, Keelan Marion has had a terrific postseason.
Yep.
Played 2 years at UConn, was hurt the first. Played a second year. Chandler Whitmer was a 2.5-year starting quarterback in the part of the tens. Played a couple years for Pascaloni and TJ, and then played a year for Diaco. So that's kind of an interesting thing to see tonight. I think Indiana's going to win, boys, but I think the 8.5 points in Miami is a lot. I think that's a big, unless Miami gets overcome by the moment and like Michael Irvin gets them too hyped up by promising them money and hookers. I don't know if the 8.5. I don't think the 8.5. I think the 8.5 point spread is a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
By the way,
Indiana might
did
be
you
that
see
good.
Saturday night? Did you see Saturday Night Live? They had a guy playing
Yes.
Michael Irvin. Oh my God.
And you know what? It's funny because as over the top as Saturday Night Live is, Michael Irvin is so over the top. I almost feel like he could not even do it. He couldn't do Michael Irvin
Justice.
as a parody, as well as Michael Irvin is his own parody. Like
He's a cartoon character.
Like he really is a real life cartoon character. Like he's one of the guys that he lives in debauchery. Probably does
Admittingly,
does things wrong, and you just say, I just love everything he does. Like it's just he makes it more exciting. He doesn't, I don't bother him. He doesn't bother me because he doesn't really harm anybody else.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? If he harmed other people, I would have a problem with his debauchery. But his debauchery is just about him. This is who he is. And he's fun-loving. You know what I mean? So he harms no one.
And I totally agree, Shu. Totally agree. I hope we don't see him every 2 minutes on the telecast, though. Let's not go over the top, showing him every time something good happens for Miami.
He'll be out there barking like a dog. He'll be out there jumping around.
Right.
No, he's having a blast out there. He's reliving the glory days.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Good for him. But I think
go
ahead.
No, I said I guess cocaine and working out keeps you ripped. Because he's like unbelievable. What is he? He's in his 60s, right? He must be.
No, 50s. I don't think so. I think he's in his
late 50s.
I think he's in his mid 50s.
Mid 50s.
Oh, he's only mid 50s. Okay, I thought he would be like 60. He is.
Well, in dog years he's 160, but he's 59. He's 59. You're right.
He's in great shape, dude.
Yeah.
He looks like he can run routes still.
Well, he could probably be better if he joined the Bills. He'd be their best receiver. So,
by far.
Steve, what do you think about tonight?
I think Indiana, it's just their year. I think they have the opportunity to be one of the best college football teams in history if they can go through this and win. It's historic for the program. They have such an incredible running game. They have the Heisman Trophy winner, and defensively, they've been tougher than anyone for what they've done throughout the playoffs. I mean, I think it was No, it wasn't them. They played great throughout the whole playoffs. I mean, what they did to Oregon was so impressive, and I think that they can shut down Carson Beck. Carson Beck doesn't scare me. He has not been anything exceptional in the playoffs, and I think Indiana. I mean, nobody expected them to drop 56 last week. I think they can do the same to Miami. Miami's tougher defensively, but Indiana just has all the answers. They control the line of scrimmage. The time of possession is what killed me. I mean, they had over 40 minutes of time of possession. Oregon only had 18. So if they're able to do that and keep the ball away from Miami and still score like they have been, I just think it's Kurt Cignetti's year. He has been the coach of the year. What he's transformed that program into. I mean, if you told us 2 years ago that Indiana would have back-to-back 10-win seasons, everyone would have said you're nuts. That they would be king of the Big Ten, out of Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State. Indiana's the one that's going to come out. I mean, it's their year. It's their year.
And if it is a close game, they had plenty of close games during the regular season, so they're not gonna quake. Shu, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Indiana's the best team. I would like to see it. I would like to see it be a close game because I think that would make it a great thing. Miami has some weapons. They have the guys defensively that could do some great things. I feel like they're a machine, and I'd be shocked if they did not play exceptionally well and be up for this kind of moment. 8.5 is a lot for a national championship game.
That's what I thought. Is that a lot of points? The one thing I'll say about Miami is they have more of a possibility to self-destruct by taking bad penalties, by Beck throwing a bad ball. I think Indiana is much more. I don't know if disciplines. Yeah, it is. I think Indiana is much more disciplined.
They don't turn the ball over. They don't make mistakes.
And they don't commit like stupid, unnecessary roughness penalties or roughing the passer or any of that. I could see Miami trying to get to the quarterback and doing something stupid. Yeah, to get to Carlos Mendoza and do something. Oh no, he's the Mets manager. To do something, stupid. So
I think. I think
Carson Beck is a game manager. That's the biggest thing. I think with Carson Beck being a game manager,
if it goes down to the wire, I think Miami has a chance because I think Carson Beck is pretty good in that situation. I don't know if you're right, Steve. I don't know if he's a guy throughout the course of the game to against an Indiana to get him to the point where he has a chance at the end. I don't know if they'll have a chance at the end. Where not only is Indiana the best team and they have the Heisman Trophy winner, but the quarterback is a brilliant leader for college football team.
Passionate.
I mean, he just when he speaks, the way he does things, just like if you could put leader for a college team up on a poster board, like that's what you would call a leader. Take away all the other stuff that he does really well, but like leader and how he handles himself. And I truly believe that when he's out there, their confidence as a team is just literally through the roof. As good as they were last year, and the quarterback they had last year was very good. He's an upgrade, tremendous upgrade. Added to a team that was already very good. I don't see it. And Cignetti's obviously a fantastic leader. It's great to see Miami back in the championship. I think it makes it much more exciting that the U is there.
Yeah, totally agree.
And they're going to stay there because this is a money game now. So Indiana, as long as they have Cignetti, they have Mark Cuban backing among other guys. As long as Miami has the coach they have and they have to continue to get those money guys there. They're going to have more money than, honestly, than Georgia has, than South Carolina is going to have, than Tennessee is going to have,
and they play in the ACC,
right? Which gives, and by the way, they keep their money in the ACC,
right? That's the amazing thing, right?
That money goes to them. They're not even sharing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did that to keep Florida State from leaving.
Right, Florida State and Clemson and Miami benefited.
Yeah.
Right, and Miami blew by them like it was going out of style.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why Miami could win the ACC. They should dominate the ACC if Clemson continues to be down and Dabo doesn't change his ways.
Well, don't forget, it's funny they didn't even win this year, though.
No, they didn't win the conference. They didn't even play in the
It was
conference
Duke.
championship.
I mean, it was Duke. If they hadn't beaten Notre Dame, they never would have been here, and we wouldn't be talking about the great job that Cristobal has done.
It was,
so does that mean the playoff system's working as it should or not working as it should?
Well, it sounds to me like
the ACC, the way they did their tiebreaker was messed up.
Yes, I totally agree. But I think what you're going to see next year is you're going to see a 16-team playoff.
They're working towards that, yeah. They're trying to work towards that, and then they want to go to 24 teams in 3 years.
Well, you know what? That's stupid.
The hold up. Yeah.
That's
what's held it up.
24 is dumb. I don't get 20. What are you going to put all the SEC teams in and pick 8 other teams? I just
it was the Big Ten commissioner who would not agree to 16 teams unless they went to 24 in 3 years. So that's what's held up the changing of it. So it could stay at 12 unless they come to some sort of agreement on that. He's been pushing for it. And
16 allows nobody to have a week off.
Right.
They should start early, and that's what Kozlowski was saying. Kozlowski's saying the playoffs going this long is ridiculous. I mean, he said that they should end in early January. I mean, we're at January 20th.
Well, but now you've got another problem to deal with that I'm not going to bring up because I don't want to get into a political discussion. But no, the chief executive wants to put in an executive order that nobody can play on the day of the Army-Navy game.
Oh, I did see that. You're right.
And if you had a playoff, you'd need to play playoff games you'd need to play playoff games that day. So
I mean, you could play it on. You'd have to play it on. They did it Thursday and Friday night 2 weeks ago because of the NFL playoffs on Saturday and Sunday. So maybe they could do something like that. But yeah, I did see that he wants to make the executive order to nobody else plays for Army Navy. But I just
else at all. There aren't even, what is there, 1 or 2 games besides that during that day? Game day?
No, not that day. Not that. The season's already over.
It's always Army Navy.
Season's already over by that point.
And the
regular season.
The FCS playoffs usually play, I believe.
So they wouldn't be able to play that day?
He wants to make an executive order, but Joe, I believe the FCS playoffs were that day as well.
Yeah,
well, maybe he'll make the FCS
I thought they did, but yeah, he did. He wanted to make an executive order, but they talked about the playoffs going too long and the transfer portal. 38% of the kids were signed, and there's so many that ended up without a home. And they tried to go. Some of them tried to go back to their original schools. I know 2 of them who did, and they got told to kick rocks, and they're basically out. I mean, they have to hope for injuries in spring ball and see if they can get picked up. But the NCAA, what they did they thought by going to a 15-day transfer portal would deter kids from going into it. It didn't. And all it did was make it a mad scramble to get people signed. And so many kids ended up not getting signed. And that's what I think hurts. I mean, kids getting bad advice.
Signed still going forward, but there's too many. 11,000.
There's like 7,000 not signed. Yeah.
11,000 kids in the transfer portal.
Right.
I mean, that's crazy.
Everyone jumped. Yeah. And only such a small percentage got signed. It just blew up in kids' faces. And I think, like David said, there's no regulation on NIL representatives. And I think that hurts. The kids are getting bad advice, either from parents or who's representing them in the NIL. And that's what's pushing them. Oh, you need to go in the portal. You can get this, you can get that. And then what the Duke quarterback did, what Menza did at the last second, after he already agreed to come back, I mean, it just shows that the contracts are meaningless. They're not really contracts because the players technically aren't employees.
Well, and the universities and the collectives are trying to go after these players too to recoup money.
to get the money back. Yeah. And the only one that they've gone after so far has been the Georgia defensive lineman who never played a snap, who signed and then left.
Yeah.
But I mean, the same thing happened to UConn. We had a D lineman that had come in and then left right away. So it's just it's so bad right now. I mean, it's worse than the NFL. Like you're seeing so much turnover year to year with 30, 40, 50 players depending on the coach. There was one team that brought in 70 kids. I think it may have been Penn State. And then Iowa State had nobody. Iowa State
thought that the quote unquote purest form of capitalism would be in college sports, which is supposed to be a scholastic environment.
Right. By the way, this I can't read his name on here. Masters H, whatever is right. It's an exclusive 4-hour window that Trump is proposing, which is great. Which means if you wanted to play a game at 8:00 at night, you could. So you could play one playoff game then. So it's not that big a deal.
But that's the thing. I think you've seen that the teams that have gotten buys in the playoffs have ended up losing. Indiana has been the only team. I mean, it's only been 2 years, but the only team to make it to the finals with a bye. So
because it's not just a bye. It's 4 weeks off.
Yeah,
it's 5 weeks off. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So,
and some teams boys, try to do it into another training camp.
I think we've run the extent of. So what do we got tonight? What do you got, Cully? 8.5 point spread. Indiana? Shoot.
Indiana.
I'm going Miami. Beat the spread. Indiana win the game.
Thank you. I love it. Well, we will see what happens. It's going to be an exciting night, and we will have a lot to talk about. I will get Maria and see who she likes as well, and we'll go from there. So for the icon, legendary voice of the Huskies, the best of the best, Joe D, and Coach Schumann, ready to go. I'm Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back at life. And I'm Steve Cully. I'm running for Congress.